team? How do you build a team that's going to win you the Stanley Cup? The complete answer is obviously complicated. Draft well, sign well, trade well, and a little luck goes a long way, like for example, not getting injured all the time. Things like injuries though, for the most part, you can't help that, so you're relying on the first three things: drafting, signing, and trading. And the reason I bring this up is with the Leafs' recent kablooey, with their annual kablooey, everyone's talking about blowing up this team and starting over. Well, what do they gotta do? How do they get better? You know what? The Leafs are just one team. Why don't we look at all 30 NHL teams and look at how they're comprised, what their best pieces are. Since it's the All-Star break and we can all kind of take a breath, what I did was I looked at each of the 30 NHL teams. I looked at their top 2 scoring forwards and their top scoring defensemen and looked at how that team got them. That's 3 players times 30 teams. That's 90 players I looked at. And the answer to what's most important out of drafting, signing, and trading is simple. Draft! Oh my goodness, draft! When looking at all 30 NHL teams' top 2 scoring forwards and top scoring defensemen, again, that's 90 players, 55 of them are with the team that drafted them. And I don't mean, oh, they got drafted by that team, traded around, and now they're with that team again. No, this is the only team they've ever played with. That's 61%. 6 out of every 10 players on that list drafted. One team, top of the alphabet, is a perfect example, the Anaheim Ducks. Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, their 2 highest scoring forwards, and their highest scoring defenseman, Sami Vatanen. Look at Chicago, Taves and Kane, and then Keith. Detroit have been the poster boys of all this. Zetterberg, Nyquist, Kronwall. Pittsburgh, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, almost not fair. Montreal even, Pacioretty, Plekanec, and Subban. I won't go through all 30 teams in this video, but another disturbing thing that I found in this list. Of the 35 remaining players on that 90-player list that aren't with the team that drafted them, but they're still their current team's like leading scorer or one of them, so many of them were traded away either before they even played an NHL game or within their first like 100 NHL games, their first basically season. Tyler Seguin is on the list. Philip Forsberg is on the list. Kyle Turris, a lot of people forgot about that one. Jakub Voracek! Alex Steen! So there's that horror show, and then the goalies were a little different, because most forwards, most defensemen, especially the really good ones, they don't just get a night off when they're healthy. So I looked at the top 30 goalies in the NHL in terms of games played so far this season. 13 of them are with the team that drafted them. And then you look at some of the traded names on that list, and boy, does the team that drafted them wish they kept them. I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to add Corey Schneider to that list. I don't know. Tuukka Rask, my heart, I can't. Ben Bishop, imagine if he's still on the Blues. And Sergei Bobrovsky. How different do the Philadelphia Flyers look if they just hold on to him? They don't need to go get Brzgalov. But then there's this, and then there's that, and then there's woulda, coulda, shoulda, whatever. Point being, the best route to take is to draft your way to the top. Or at least draft your core. Most of the good teams have. Now, that's definitely not the only key. What up, Oilers? But it's a pretty helpful one. Doesn't even need to be the first overall pick. Could your team use a Max Pacioretty, PK Subban, Kyle Okposo, Logan Couture? I bet they could. A couple decades ago, it was draft schmaft. I vote we change that to draft stupid! By the way, if you want that full 90-player list that I made, it's on sportsnet.ca. Check it out.